What's up, my Shiny Tech friends? Brad here with Shiny Tech Things, where we take things seriously. And today I want to go ahead and talk about why or when you might want to use consumer gear versus enterprise gear in your home. Now, one of the things is that, yes, consumer gear is pretty much just plug and play, but as it comes with security issues, it's usually plug and pray that you don't get hacked. Now, ASUS is one of the few brands that I've personally used, and I do recommend to others when you do have to buy consumer gear. And the reason for that is they typically support their routers for longer than most other manufacturers as far as firmware updates go. And they also have something that is called AI mesh. So say, for example, you got this AX1800 router, and let's say that it does cover your current house, but then later on you move to a bigger place, and it doesn't have full coverage of your entire residence. So what do? Instead of throwing this out, then you go ahead and get a newer model at that time from ASUS and flash this with AI mesh. And basically what it does is it becomes a mesh router using a 5 gigahertz backbone to be able to mesh with your main router to be able to expand the coverage. So ASUS wants you to keep their gear and continue to grow within their ecosystem, which I feel is a really smart move on their behalf. Now, if you are looking to upgrade beyond what ASUS can actually provide, then I do like Ubiquiti's products, and they've worked very well for me in the past and continue to work great. Now, there is some argument on whether or not that is enterprise gear or not, and I would argue for that it is more of a SMB type solution or prosumer, because sometimes it is more expensive and prices itself out of the consumer market to begin with. However, with the rising costs of like gaming routers, then sometimes it makes sense to just go ahead and maybe purchase a Ubiquiti configuration. Now, it is more difficult to be able to set up than just a standard router, because when you plug this in, it basically says, okay, here's your username and password to log in as the defaults. Let's change it, give it a name for your SSID for your Wi-Fi, and you're off on the races, provided that you just have a DHCP IP address that your ISP gives you. If you have DSL, then it's a little bit different, where you have to usually configure some type of credentials to be able to connect, and then again, you're off to the races. With Ubiquiti, it is definitely pretty straightforward of a process to set up their hardware, especially the UDM or Unified Dream Machine. Now I'll show you what I got over here. And you can see I have my Unified Dream Machine sitting on top of my half rack. Now, previously I did run a USG, which is Ubiquiti Security Gateway, but it does have some limitations if you don't have the higher end Pro one that costs several $100s, that limits your throughput whenever you have intrusion prevention turned on. And intrusion prevention is basically a setting that is in more business-oriented or enterprise routers or prosumer routers that takes a proactive approach to security, where it can determine certain types of fingerprints of connections coming in and out and be able to just cut and sever them if it detects it as a threat. Now, what's unique about the Unified Dream Machine is that it has the network controller built directly into it. Well, what is a network controller, you might be asking? Well, a network controller is basically, in a way, if you think on a consumer router, the web page that you log into. So it is the program that runs on the router that tells it how to do everything that it does. Well, the network controller is that, plus a lot more, where you get into deep packet inspection, which is basically looking at the source and destination of your traffic to be able to tell you how much data you are using where, and when, and on what devices. And that is where the unified ecosystem far exceeds any type of consumer router that I've seen to date, as well as continuous updates on their firmware to continue to make their platform even better. Now, with the USG, I had to actually run my own network controller separately. Me being very technical, not a big deal. I just spun up a VM and ran it on that. Easy peasy. What's great about the Dream Machine Pro and the standard Dream Machine is that they both have that network controller built directly into the hardware. So they took the simplicity of this and put it into a SMB/entry enterprise grade in Prosumer device. A really cool thing about the intrusion prevention and detection system within UniFi on the Dream Machine is that, like my kids, I have their own VLAN set up for them. And my son, like most kids out there, will go ahead and sometimes click on a download link on YouTube of something that he has no idea what it is, and it's some kind of executable, and he just fumbles through extracting it out, double clicking on it and installing it, and surprise, he's in the process of getting owned. Now, this has actually blocked that from happening on several occasions that it was able to detect. So then I would go ahead and go upstairs and see, hey, what are you doing? What are you watching? What did you download? And sure enough, it was something that was trying to phone back home, and it detected it as a threat, and it blocked it. Now, he does have antivirus on his machine, but ask anybody that knows IT security and they will tell you that antivirus is never enough. You have to have security in multiple layers from the network all the way in, as well as directly on the machines. And then also training the users. That is the most difficult thing, being a father training my children about operational security, or OPSEC, especially since even adults can have problems understanding and comprehending these concepts to be able to detect phishing attempts and other malicious attack methods, be able to pwn your system. Well, that's it for today's show. Go ahead and slap that like button if you liked it. If you didn't like it, you made it all the way through it. So thank you, and I will teach you how to do a mega dislike. To do a mega dislike, you have to do this within 4 seconds. You slap dislike twice, and then slap like 3 times, and then it is mega disliked. I got a question for you. What is the most challenging technical issue that you are having yourself, whether it be at work or at home? Go ahead and drop that in the comment section down below and see if I can go ahead and make a video to help you out with that, but I will at least respond in the comments down below. Again, thank you for watching.